Introduction. The next level of strategy. Imagine waking up every day knowing that no matter what happens, chaos, setbacks, surprises, you'll always find a way to win. Not through luck, not through force, but through strategy. That's the difference between a reactive mind and a strategic one. Most people play life like a game of chance. They react, they chase, they hope things work out. But the elite, the thinkers, the calm movers, the quiet winners, see life as a chessboard. Every choice, every delay, every move is deliberate. They don't panic when the board shifts. They anticipate it. In my previous audiobook, The Art of Strategic Thinking, we explored how to outsmart challenges, think clearly under pressure, and design smarter moves instead of reacting emotionally. But this is the next level. Welcome to the Elite Strategist. High-level thinking for winning any battle in life. Here, we're not just talking about how to survive the game, we're learning how to control it. You'll discover how to master hidden leverage, make power moves in silence, and design your future with the calm precision of a tactician. This isn't about working harder. It's about seeing sharper, moving smarter, and winning quieter. Because real power doesn't shout. It calculates, it positions, it waits. And when it moves, it's unstoppable. This is your invitation to evolve from thinker to strategist, from player to designer, from being at the mercy of life to becoming the one who directs it. So take a breath. Let's begin. Welcome to the Elite Strategist, where your next move begins long before anyone else even sees the game. Chapter 1. The Power Shift. Thinking like the one in control. There's a moment when everything changes. It doesn't look dramatic from the outside. No spotlight, no grand announcement, no one claps. But inside you, a decision is made. And from that point forward, you stop reacting like the world is happening to you. And you start moving like it's happening for you, or better, because of you. That's the moment of the power shift. Control isn't about controlling everything. It's about controlling yourself. Most people think being in control means being able to command every situation, every outcome, every person. But that's an illusion. Real control, the kind elite strategists operate with, starts within. It's the ability to keep your mind still while others panic, to think clearly when others rush, to respond with intention instead of impulse. Control isn't about micromanaging the world. It's about managing you so well that the world stops managing you. Reactive thinking versus strategic thinking. Let's break this down simply. Most people live in reaction mode. Something happens, they react emotionally. Someone says something, they take it personally. A problem arises, they panic or avoid it. Reaction is survival. But strategy is evolution. Elite thinkers don't just react to the world, they shape it. They pause, analyze, choose a response that aligns with their endgame. This isn't passive, it's powerful. It's the calm behind elite execution. Rewiring, from victim to architect. Here's the hard truth. You can't live as a strategist with a victim mindset. If your first instinct is to blame, complain, or collapse under pressure, you've already given away control. So let's do something radical. Take back the narrative. I don't control everything, but I control how I see it, what I learn from it, and what I do next. That single mental shift, it's where real power lives. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what can I do with this? That's strategic identity. Dene, the calm is the control. Look around. The people who seem most powerful aren't usually the loudest. They're the most composed. Because control shows up as stillness, not volume. In a crisis, they don't yell, they assess. In conflict, they don't panic, they posture. Under pressure, they don't fold, they slow down. Want to flip the power dynamic in any room? Be the calmest one in it. Calm people intimidate panicked people without saying a word. That's what makes calm a weapon, and your secret strategic tool. How to build a control-oriented mindset, step by step. Let's get practical. You can train yourself to think like the one in control, starting now. Step 1. Pause before you respond. Whenever something triggers you, before you text back, snap, react, or spiral, pause. Ask, what's really happening here? What outcome do I want? Is this worth my energy, or is this bait? This pause is where control enters. Step 2. Zoom out, don't dive in. Reactive minds zoom in and obsess over details. Strategic minds zoom out and see the whole board. Train yourself to step back and ask, how does this fit into the bigger picture? Will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Is this an opportunity to move smarter? Perspective is power. Step 3. Default to thinking, not feeling. Emotions are valid, but don't let them drive the car. When something shakes you, shift into thinking. What's the most intelligent response? What would my future self do? What does this moment require? Not what do I feel like doing? This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you lead them instead of letting them lead you. The identity of a strategist. Let's go deeper. You can't just act like the one in control. You have to become them. Ask yourself, how does the strategist version of me wake up? How do they speak, move, respond to stress? What do they say no to? What do they obsess over? Then act like it's already true. You become the one in control not by force, but by daily discipline in how you think, act, and choose. The inner game is the outer edge. Control doesn't start with power over situations. It starts with power over your thoughts, power over your choices, power over your time, power over your narrative. Elite strategy is an inner game, played silently, powerfully. When you shift your default setting from emotional to intentional, you start winning battles other people can't even see. One mental model, the operator override. Every time you feel yourself slipping into panic or weakness, say silently, operator override. That's your code, your reset. It reminds you, I am the operator of this moment. I can override this reaction. I can switch from reacting to leading. Train this thought daily. It will become your edge. Final thought, the one who thinks leads. You don't need to control everything to feel powerful. You just need to control your response to anything. The strategist doesn't panic. They prepare, they pause, they plan, they win quietly. So as you step forward from this chapter, remember, every room you walk into, every problem you face, every conflict you encounter, ask yourself, am I reacting like a pawn or responding like the one in control? Make the shift. Take the power back. Own the board. Chapter 2. Tactical advantage. Outsmart without force. Winning without noise, confrontation, or burnout. In a world that worships hustle, volume, and dominance, what if your greatest advantage is none of those things? What if true power isn't about pushing harder, but about thinking smarter, moving quieter, and winning without exhaustion? This is where elite strategy comes alive. Not in force, not in friction, but in tactical advantage, the ability to outmaneuver without burning out. Let's break that down. The myth of force power. We've been trained to believe that if you want to win, you have to work harder than everyone. You have to speak louder. You have to grind until you break. You have to dominate. But here's the truth. Force is expensive. Strategy is efficient. Anyone can fight louder, but not everyone can win quietly. When you operate with tactical advantage, you conserve energy. Use timing, positioning, and leverage. Avoid unnecessary conflict. Win before the fight even starts. That's the mindset of an elite strategist. What is tactical advantage? Tactical advantage means you use your mind more than your mouth. Win with subtlety instead of shouting. Set traps instead of charging blindly. Let others waste energy while you gain ground. It's the art of mental jujitsu, letting the opponent's force work against them. You don't get pulled into drama. You don't need credit. You don't burn out proving you're right. You position yourself so well, you win while others are still warming up. 3 core principles of tactical advantage. Let's break this into 3 strategic principles. 1. Position over push. Elite thinkers don't rush. They position. They study the terrain, the people, the patterns, then move with precision. Imagine chess. A novice rushes their queen. A master positions their pawns with patience, then strikes with checkmate. The same applies in life. Instead of chasing clients, you build value so they come to you. Instead of forcing conversations, you listen deeply, then respond surgically. Instead of pushing your way into rooms, you become someone rooms request. Tactical advantage isn't pushy. It's quietly placed power. 2. Silence is a weapon. Say less. Observe more. People reveal everything when you give them silence. In negotiations, silence creates pressure. In conflict, it diffuses chaos. In conversation, it commands attention. The one who can remain silent longest often controls the room. Use your silence to gather intel, create tension. Let others make mistakes first. Buy time for a better move. Silence isn't weakness. It's your shield and sword if you know how to use it. 3. Efficiency over emotion. Average thinkers try to win arguments. Elite strategists focus on results. You don't need to prove you're right. You don't need to explain your every move. You just need to get the outcome, calmly, quietly, and efficiently. That means saying less but meaning more. Walking away when the battle isn't worth the energy. Acting when timing is right, not when emotions are high. Outlasting drama by refusing to feed it. Efficiency beats emotion. Because emotion wants to win now. But strategy wins forever. Real-world examples of quiet power. The executive who doesn't speak first. In boardrooms, high-level operators don't rush to speak. They listen, watch, wait. Then they speak last and with precision. Their voice carries more weight because it's measured, not reactive. The negotiator who doesn't fill the silence. Amateurs fear silence. They overtalk, oversell, overcompensate. But true strategists, they let silence make the other side uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, the truth spills out. The leader who doesn't argue. A strong leader doesn't fight every battle. They understand that sometimes walking away is the power move. Not because they're weak, but because they value their energy. How to apply tactical advantage in everyday life. Let's get practical. Here's how to win without force, starting now. 1. Ask more than you answer. Curiosity disarms people. Questions redirect energy. Instead of debating, ask, why do you think that? What makes you say that? What's your outcome here? You gain information. They reveal their cards. 2. Don't fight every battle. Ask, does this get me closer to my goal or just feed my ego? If it's ego, drop it. Let the fools argue. Strategists build, win. 3. Practice the power pause. Before you respond to anything emotionally triggering, use a 3-second pause. Breathe. Reset. Choose power over panic. This one pause can save your energy, your relationships, and your reputation. 4. Let success speak, not your mouth. You don't need to announce every move. Silence builds mystery, and mystery builds power. Let people see results, not rants. That's real influence. Burnout is the enemy of strategy. Remember this. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. It's a sign of poor strategy. The world tells you to go harder. But elite minds know better. They conserve. They recover. They strike with precision, not pressure. If your plan leads to burnout, it's not smart, it's sloppy. Your longevity is your edge. Final takeaway. Win like water. be like water. It doesn't yell. It doesn't force. It finds the cracks. It carves through stone, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. That's tactical advantage. So next time someone tries to pull you into a noisy fight, or life demands a dramatic reaction, pause. Observe, position, then move like the one who's already won. Chapter 3, Game Theory. Thinking life as strategy, not survival. Predicting patterns, reading people, staying 3 steps ahead. What if life isn't random? What if every move, every reaction, every pattern from people, from systems, from even yourself, follows a rhythm? And once you see it, you can shape it. This chapter is about thinking like a game theorist. Because when you understand the game, you stop just playing and start winning. What is game theory? Thinking on game theory is a mindset. It's not about winning by force or luck. It's about understanding behavior, predicting responses, and making smart, calculated moves. It's used in business deals, political negotiations, military strategy, even personal relationships. But here's the part no one tells you. You can use game theory to upgrade your everyday life. To stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. Survival versus strategy. Most people live in survival mode. They react out of fear. They act without thinking ahead. They repeat the same emotional patterns and call it fate. But survival thinking is short-term. Strategy is long-term. Survival is, how do I fix this now? Strategy is, what move sets me up for 6 steps from now? That's the difference between a player and a mastermind. And guess what? You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to start seeing the game. Life is a game. See the board. Whether you like it or not, life has rules, incentives, repeating behaviors, patterns of power and influence, and you're either blindly reacting to it or calmly playing it. Strategists don't get caught off guard. They map the board. Who are the key players? What do they want? How do they usually move? What motivates them? What traps can I avoid? What angles can I use? This is the mindset of game theory in motion. Pattern recognition, strategic power. Every person has a pattern. Every system has a rhythm. Every room has an energy. If you pause, observe, and stop trying to control everything, you'll start to see it. And once you do, you stop reacting. You start predicting. You start engineering outcomes. This doesn't make you manipulative. It makes you prepared. You don't control people, you anticipate them. And that alone puts you ahead. Hey, stay 3 steps ahead. The rule of anticipation. Want to win in any field? Get good at seeing 3 moves ahead. Ask yourself, if I say this, what will they likely do next? If I don't react now, what will unfold? What's the chain reaction of this choice? The world is too reactive. Elite minds play chess, not checkers. They think in branches, not just events. Every move they make has a calculated outcome. This gives them power without panic. How to start thinking like a game theorist. Let's make this practical. You don't need to become a professor of game theory. You just need to upgrade your mental playbook. 1. See people as predictable, not personal. Most people repeat behavior. If someone burned you once, they'll likely do it again. If someone seeks drama, they'll create it in every room. Don't take it personally. See it as a pattern. Observe, don't absorb. So 2, zoom out before you zoom in. Before you act, always pause to zoom out. What's the full picture here? Is this a short-term reaction or part of a long-term game? What does not reacting do for me? Zooming out gives you advantage. It reveals traps. It opens angles others don't see. 3, map the incentives. Everyone's driven by something. Status, approval, money, control, security. If you can spot what someone values most, you can predict their next move before they make it. This is how smart negotiators, leaders, and diplomats operate. 4. Think in options, not emotions. Never corner yourself with either-or thinking. Elite strategists ask, what's my third option? Can I delay, delegate, or design a better outcome? What haven't they considered yet? More options, more power. Never move emotionally when you could move intelligently. Examples of game theory in everyday life. In conversations. Don't just listen to what someone is saying. Watch their energy, tone, and what they're not saying. Often their fear or motive is hiding behind the words. When you can read that, you gain influence. In business or negotiations, don't accept the first offer. Game theory says, always assume the first move is a test. Be willing to walk away, delay, use silence. Frame the value differently. Negotiation isn't combat, it's strategy. In life planning, most people plan for next week. Strategists plan 6 months out, then reverse engineer backward. They use time as leverage. That's a winning move. The strategic pause. Your greatest advantage. Here's one tool that instantly gives you game theory level power. Oh, the strategic pause. When you're pressured to act fast, pause. When you feel emotion rising, pause. When someone's trying to bait you, pause. Why? Because the pause buys you clarity. And clarity is the one thing reactive people never have. Final thought. Play to win, not to survive. Every day life gives you a board, and every decision is a move. You can move fast and emotional, or slow and intentional. You can argue or observe. You can react or predict. You can play small or think 3 moves ahead. The game is happening whether you like it or not. But once you see the board, you don't just play, you own it. So step into the strategist's mindset. Predict, prepare, position. Because the one who sees the game wins it. Chapter 4. Mental War Room. Build internal control before external success. Building unshakable internal systems. Imagine walking into a war room. Maps, charts, quiet intensity. Everyone knows the mission. Every detail is tracked. There's no panic, only preparation. Now, what if your mind could feel like that? What if instead of chaos, distraction, and emotional storms, you had order, you had focus, you had a personal command center inside your own head? That's what this chapter is about. Not controlling the outside world, but building such internal control that the outside world never breaks you. Because real success, it doesn't start with hustle. It starts in the war room of your mind. Why internal control comes first. Too many people chase money, status, approval, recognition. They build the outside while ignoring the inside. But here's what every elite performer knows. If you don't master your mind, the world will master it for you. You can have $1 million plan ruined by poor self-talk, great connections sabotaged by insecurity, big goals paralyzed by fear, doubt, or procrastination. External success without internal control is temporary. That's why the mental war room is everything. What is a mental war room? It's the part of your mind you train like a strategist. It's where you plan your moves, you regulate your emotions, you reframe your setbacks, you remember who you are. It's the headquarters of your thoughts. Not loud, not scattered, just sharp, disciplined, silent, powerful. Your war room doesn't panic. It prepares. It doesn't argue. It assesses. It doesn't beg. It executes. This is the mental fortress elite minds operate from. And you can build it. Pillars of internal control. Let's construct your war room, brick by mental brick. 1. Mental clarity. Know what you're fighting for. Without clear objectives, even the best soldiers lose focus. You need a vision, a mission, a code. Your mind must know, what are we building? What are we avoiding? What matters most today? When clarity is absent, distraction dominates. But when you define your goals daily, your mind becomes a soldier, not a wanderer. 2. Emotional discipline. The calm and the chaos, in your untrained minds react, trained minds respond. Your war room should slow your pulse, interrupt negative thought spirals, ask better questions when pressure rises, instead of, why is this happening to me? You train your mind to ask, what's my move now? That shift is everything. 3. Self-talk protocols. Command the inner voice. Your internal dialogue is either your weakest leak or strongest weapon. Most people let their mind say whatever it wants. But elite minds install mental protocols, words that lead, not bleed. Instead of, I can't do this, you say, this isn't easy, but I am equipped. Instead of, I'm overwhelmed, you say, one move at a time. We're not here to panic. We're here to win. This isn't lying to yourself. It's leading yourself. Your war room runs on strong inner commands. 4. Routine rhythm readiness. War rooms run on systems. You need routines that make mental control automatic. A morning protocol that sets the tone, a nighttime system that resets the mind, a midday check-in that recalibrates the mission. Elite minds don't feel like it every day. They build systems that work even when motivation fades. That's war room thinking. Build rhythm, not rely on emotion. 5. Reframing failure. The strategist's autopsy. Failure isn't fatal in the war room. It's data. Every loss is a lesson. Every setback is a signal. After a tough day, most people spiral. I failed again. What's wrong with me? But you ask, what part of the system broke? What did I misread? What do I now know that I didn't yesterday? Elite thinkers treat failure like military intelligence. They extract lessons without ego. When the world feels out of control, here's the game-changing truth. The more internal control you build, the less external chaos shakes you. People can lie about you. Opportunities can fall apart. Stress can rise. But you don't flinch, because inside your head, there's a calm, focused, ruthless operator saying, we've seen worse, stay focused, execute the next move. That's not arrogance. That's preparation. Visualization. Enter your war room. Let's try this. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a clean, quiet room in your mind. No noise, no panic, no drama. Just your mission, your moves, your values, your edge. That's your war room. Visit it often. Upgrade it constantly. Every time the world gets loud, return to it. Final words: control inside, power outside. You don't need to control every person, every outcome, every environment. But if you control your more thoughts, emotions, responses, focus, then you control the only battlefield that truly matters. So build your war room. Make it sharp. Make it clean. Make it quiet. Make it yours. And from that space, command your life with unshakable clarity. Chapter 5. The Law of Hidden Leverage. Small shifts, massive wins. How small shifts make massive impacts when used precisely. Imagine this. Two people face the same challenge. One charges in with brute force, loud, intense, spent. The other? Quiet, focused. One small move and the entire situation tilts in their favor. That's not luck, that's leverage. And the smartest people in the room? They use less energy to get more results. Because they understand one thing, it's not about effort, it's about advantage. This is the chapter where we break the myth of working harder and show you how to think sharper, move smarter, and win without burnout. Let's talk about the law of hidden leverage. What is leverage? In simple terms, leverage is when a small strategic input creates a massive output. It's the ability to say one sentence that changes a relationship, send one email that opens a new chapter, change one habit that upgrades your entire lifestyle, make one pivot that avoids years of wasted energy, Leverage turns a 2% shift into a 200% result. It's not more effort. It's better placement of your effort. And in today's loud, grinding world, leverage is your edge. The hidden part. The best leverage points? They're quiet. They're subtle. They're invisible to most. Everyone sees the hustle. No one sees the small, invisible shift behind the scenes that made the breakthrough inevitable. But elite thinkers? They look for it. They find it. They use it. This is high-level strategy. The 80-20th mindset. You've heard of the 80-20th rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. But elite minds don't just know this. They live by it. They constantly ask, what's the one move that moves everything? What's the high-leverage habit, conversation, relationship, or decision I'm ignoring? Am I doing more or just doing smarter? They don't spread effort. They stack it on the highest point of impact. 5 areas where hidden leverage exists. Let's break down where small, silent power lives. 1. In habits. Identity stacking. Tiny habits build massive identity shifts. 5 minutes of journaling clarity all day. Morning stillness. Fewer reactive choices. 1 glass of water on waking. Better health decisions. It's not about doing more. It's about building micro decisions that reinforce who you're becoming. Leverage isn't loud. It's layered. 2. In conversations. The power of a well-placed question. Instead of convincing, ask. Instead of defending, redirect. 1 question can shift a person's belief, de-escalate conflict, turn a critic into a partner. Example, help me understand how you see this. That 1 line disarms, it invites, it redirects tension into dialogue. Words don't need to be long to be leverage. They need to be timed and placed. 3. In timing, knowing when to wait. Sometimes your best move is silence or delay. Most people rush, they force, they fear waiting. But tacticians wait for leverage moments, like sending an idea after someone gets good news, waiting 24 hours before responding to criticism, proposing change at exactly the right mood, mindset, or market moment. Leverage lives in timing, not just action. 4. In environment, designing success automatically. 1 change in your environment can multiply output. Moving your phone to another room, 2x focus. Setting up a quiet workspace, 10x productivity. Sleeping with blackout curtains, better recovery, better decisions. Environment design is a silent strategist. It works while you're distracted. It nudges your behavior without you noticing. Inisuri 5. In energy, protecting your peak power. Instead of managing time, manage energy. Elite minds ask, what drains me? What amplifies me? Where's the 2-hour window where I'm unstoppable? Then they guard that energy zone like a fortress. Because 2 high energy hours, used well, can outperform 10 distracted ones. That's energy leverage. Examples of small shifts that changed everything. The startup that changed its pricing model. 1 tiny tweak, how they presented their offer, tripled revenue. No new product, just leverage in messaging. The leader who stopped interrupting. She didn't say more. She said less, listened better, and gained the team's trust back. The burnout professional who started walking for 10 minutes a day. That 1 habit sparked clarity, then momentum, then a life transformation. Why people miss leverage. Here's the truth. We're trained to respect effort, not impact. That's why. People wear burnout as a badge. Simplicity gets ignored. Quiet adjustments get overlooked. But high performers, elite strategists, they don't get caught in that trap. They ask, what's the smallest hinge that swings the biggest door? Where's the non-obvious shift with massive upside? How do I work like a scalpel, not a sledgehammer? That's hidden leverage. 4 questions to find your leverage. Right now are 1. What's the 1 habit I could start or stop that would make the rest of my day easier? Routine. 2. What conversation could solve 3 recurring problems? 3. Where am I putting in a ton of effort with minimal return? 4. What environment change would give me focus, clarity, or momentum today? So use these daily. They'll reveal your leverage points. Final thought. Play the game of precision, not pressure. You don't need to yell. You don't need to grind. You don't need to force the door open. You just need to know where to push. Because when you understand leverage, you waste less energy, you recover faster, you win with less wear and tear. The world respects the loud. But it's the precise that win quietly and permanently. So look again. What's the small shift that changes everything? Make it, use it, leverage it. Chapter 6. The Quiet Operator. Power moves without announcement. Some of the most powerful people you'll ever meet are the quietest in the room. They don't raise their voice to command attention. They don't need to prove their worth. Their power lies in their presence, their precision, and the fact that they are always 10 steps ahead without announcing their every move. This chapter is about becoming that person, the quiet operator, the one who influences without forcing, leads without shouting, and wins without warning. Why quiet power is the highest form of strength. Loud people often signal insecurity. They need noise to fill the gaps where certainty should live. But the quiet ones, they've already made peace with their decisions. They don't argue, they don't explain, they execute. Quiet power isn't passive, it's strategic. It's the ability to observe everything and say nothing until it matters. It's knowing what battles are worth fighting and walking away from the rest. When you operate from stillness, people can't predict you. That makes you powerful. And when your actions speak before your mouth ever opens, people pay attention. This is how real influence is built. Rule #1. Never let your next move be predictable. The quiet operator plays chess, not checkers. When you're loud about your goals, people will either try to stop you, copy you, or distract you. But when you move in silence, they only see the results, not the road. Operate like this. Set goals in private. Work in private. Win in private. Then let your success make the announcement. Your unpredictability is your weapon. In a world that rewards oversharing and validation seeking, becoming mysterious is a form of power. They can't compete with what they don't see coming. Strategic influence. Speak only when it moves the needle. Have you ever noticed that when someone who rarely speaks suddenly talks, the whole room goes silent? That's not coincidence. It's the power of strategic communication. Quiet operators choose their words like chess pieces. Every sentence is a move. Every silence is calculated. Here's how to apply this. In meetings, speak last. Listen fully first. In conflict, wait 24 hours before responding. In decisions, speak when you've gathered leverage, not when emotions rise. You don't gain power by talking more. You gain it by making your words carry weight, and weight only comes from clarity, calm, and timing. Operate from observation, not reaction. Reactive people are predictable. They can be baited, provoked, and distracted. But when you become an observer of the game, not a pawn in it, you win by default. Quiet operators. Study patterns. Read body language. Understand motives before reacting to behaviors. They don't get caught in drama. They recognize manipulation, energy vampires, and power plays from a mile away, and they don't play. Train yourself to pause, step back, and analyze. The less you react, the more control you gain. Remember, silence is not weakness, it's surveillance. The power of silent execution. Let's talk about results, not the kind you post on social media, but the kind that build legacy. Silent execution is how empires are built. The best projects, businesses, and transformations don't start with a loud declaration. They begin in the shadows. Here's the mindset. Show less, do more. Don't seek praise, seek results. Document progress, not for attention, but for accuracy. Progress made in silence is harder to sabotage. It builds thicker roots, and it's far more satisfying to win after people have doubted, ignored, or overlooked you. Make silence your stage, not your cage. Emotional discipline is the ultimate flex. The strongest quiet operators are not just disciplined in action. They're unshakable emotionally. When you control your internal state, no one can hijack your power. Not critics, not manipulators, not even chaos. Build these traits. Respond, don't react. Pause before speaking. Ask, what's the long game here? Before doing anything. Emotional discipline is the armor that lets you stay calm while others spiral. It protects your energy, your reputation, and your decision-making clarity. If you want influence, you need restraint. If you want leadership, you need peace. Leverage is quiet, desperation is loud. Desperate people beg, strategic people attract. Never chase validation, attention, or acceptance. Build leverage instead. Here's how. Become so good at what you do, they come to you. Create results so undeniable that silence becomes a magnet. Protect your energy so fiercely that your peace intimidates noise. When you build value silently, you control the terms. Leverage is built in preparation, not performance. Don't just be visible, be valuable. And remember, real power doesn't beg, it builds. Silent reset, the tactical retreat. Every quiet operator knows the value of disappearing. When the noise gets loud, when burnout creeps in, when clarity fades, it's time to step back. Not to quit, but to reload. This is called the tactical retreat. Unplug, rethink, reposition. The world celebrates constant motion, but real power is found in silence, strategy, and selective visibility. Retreat is not weakness. It's how you prepare for your next power move. Step back, breathe, reset the board. Then come back so evolved they don't recognize you. Build systems, not dependence. The quiet operator relies on systems, not moods, not motivation, and definitely not approval. Here's the move. Build morning routines that lock in clarity. Use checklists, calendars, and triggers to automate decisions. Make silence a part of your operating system. Why? Because the more you systematize your progress, the less emotional energy you waste. You stop needing permission. You stop negotiating with laziness. You just execute. When your systems are silent, your results become loud. Peace is power. Let's be very clear. This isn't about being passive. It's about choosing peace over panic, control over chaos. The ultimate flex in today's hyperstimulated world? Being unbothered. Being rooted, grounded, and composed no matter what's happening around you. That's the quiet operator's edge. You don't fight noise with more noise. You defeat it with stillness. Train yourself to stay calm when others get reactive. Choose quiet focus over loud opinions. Build so strategically that the noise fades behind your progress. That's how you win, quietly. Final word, operate like the shadow, win like the sun. Remember, you don't need to broadcast every move. You don't need applause for every step. You don't need eyes watching to validate your journey. The quiet operator understands. Power is best used quietly. Strategy is more effective than speed. Silence is not empty. It's full of answers. From now on, stop chasing validation. Build leverage, build clarity, build systems, and let your results speak volumes. Be the calm in the chaos, the silence in the noise, the storm behind the stillness. Because while the world watches, wonders, and waits, you'll already be winning. Quietly. Chapter 7. Calm execution, acting with speed, not rush. Replacing reaction with response. Never rushed, always ready. In a world addicted to urgency, calm is the ultimate advantage. While the crowd scrambles, overthinks, and burns out, the calm executor moves with speed. Not from panic, but from power. They don't react impulsively, they respond intelligently. This chapter is about mastering that space between stimulus and action. The zone where preparation meets peace, where clarity becomes a weapon, and where the most powerful decisions are made, not in chaos, but in control. Why most people move fast but achieve little. Let's begin with a harsh truth. Speed alone means nothing if it's driven by fear. We live in a society that rewards hustle and worships urgency. everyone's sprinting, but no one's winning. Why? Because rushing is not the same as executing. Rushing is reactive. It's fueled by anxiety, distraction, and scarcity. But execution, the kind that changes lives, is precise, purposeful, and peaceful. Think of a martial artist. Their movements are fast, but never frantic. Every action is trained, measured, effective. It's not how fast they move that matters. It's how clean they move. Now ask yourself, are you rushing because you're behind, or moving with intention because you're prepared? The neuroscience of calm decision-making. When you're panicked, your brain activates the amygdala, the fight or flight center. This hijacks your logic and replaces it with survival instincts. You lose strategy, creativity, and vision. But when you train your nervous system to stay calm under pressure, you shift power back to your prefrontal cortex, your strategic mind. This is where long-term thinking, judgment, and innovation live. The most successful people don't have better ideas. They just don't panic when it matters most. Calmness is not passivity. It's command, response over reaction. The golden gap. Between every trigger and your action is a gap. In that space lies your freedom. Let's say you receive bad news. A business deal falls through. Someone criticizes your work. The average person reacts instantly with emotion, anger, fear, blame. But the quiet professional, they pause, breathe, process, and then respond. Not because they're slow, but because they're sharp. Speed isn't about how fast you move, it's how little you waste. The calm execution formula. Let's break down calm execution into a repeatable system. Clarity first. Know what you want before the world pulls you into distractions. Clarity is the antidote to overreaction. Pre-decide the big moves. Don't make high-stakes decisions in the heat of the moment. Decide your values, goals, and non-negotiables in advance. This way, when chaos hits, you're not making decisions. You're following strategy. Master your triggers. Identify what typically makes you rush or react. Is it pressure from others? Impatience? Fear of missing out? Awareness kills the power of unconscious patterns. Control the environment, not the outcome. Focus on what you can control. Your inputs, mindset, energy, effort. Let the results follow. Detach from outcome. Calm execution thrives on process, not panic. Move when others freeze. Most people delay action while waiting for perfect certainty. The calm executor moves forward with enough clarity, not total clarity. Action creates momentum. Momentum brings refinement. Don't wait to feel ready. Move with grounded speed. Speed isn't the enemy. Noise is. Speed in itself is not the problem. In fact, speed with precision is a superpower. The problem is noisy speed, speed that's frantic, reactive, and misdirected. Calm execution is about velocity, not chaos. Think of it like a Formula One car. It moves incredibly fast, but every inch is calculated. The tires, the turns, the brakes, engineered for control under extreme pressure. That's who you become. A high-performance operator with low emotional noise, quiet preparation, confident execution. If you want to act calmly under pressure, you must train privately when no one's watching. Boxers don't become champions in the ring. They win in silent gyms, far from the cameras. The same goes for life. Prepare so thoroughly that when the time to act arrives, you don't panic, you execute. Build internal systems, morning routines that align your focus, daily mental reps like journaling or reflection, physical discipline that grounds your energy, strategic planning so decisions are pre-made. When you do this, you stop chasing readiness, you embody it. From panic to practice. A daily ritual. To embed calm execution into your life, practice a daily ritual. Morning intentions. Start with 5 minutes of silence. Ask, what matters today? What doesn't? Midday reset. When stress creeps in, pause. Don't check your phone. Round, breathe, recalibrate. Choose your next move. Don't react to it. Evening debrief. Ask, or where did I rush today? Why? Where did I respond calmly? What helped? Each day becomes a data point. You train your nervous system like a muscle. Eventually, calm becomes your default, and with it, clarity, control, and quiet power. Calm is confidence you can feel. Calmness sends a signal to others and to yourself. It says, I know what I'm doing. I'm not afraid. I've prepared. In a negotiation, in a crisis, in a big opportunity, the calm one always holds the power. They listen more. They observe more. They act with less waste. Because true confidence doesn't shout. It simply shows up. Ask yourself, can you stay composed when someone doubts you? Can you stay focused when nothing is working? Yet? Can you keep building when no applause is coming? That's what separates those who dabble from those who dominate. Calm execution scripts. Here are powerful scripts to help you move with calm precision. I don't need to respond right now. Let me think on that. Speed isn't priority. Alignment is. What's the signal here? Not just the noise? I act from clarity, not chaos. Use them to rewire your response in pressure moments. Conclusion. Always ready, never rushed. You don't need to move fast to succeed. You need to move right. Let others burn themselves out trying to outpace time. Your edge is calm, focused, strategic execution. While the world reacts, you respond. While others scramble, you strike. While they rush, you rise. From this point forward, anchor into a new identity. You are a calm executor, a quiet strategist, a composed warrior. You don't chase chaos, you create precision. You don't react wildly, you move wisely. And in that stillness, in that control, you find your unstoppable momentum. Chapter 8. Strategic retreat when to pull back and gain more. You were told to never stop, to grind, to go all in. But what if the real power move isn't pressing forward? It's pulling back. Welcome to the strategy of retreat, not out of fear, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. The illusion of constant forward motion. In a world obsessed with momentum, we often confuse movement with progress. We think we're getting ahead just because we're in motion. But what if that motion is misdirected? What if we're racing toward a goal that no longer aligns with who we're becoming? This is where most people fail. They fear the pause. They fear the silence. They believe slowing down is the same as giving up. But here's the truth. Sometimes you need to pull back, not to retreat, but to reload. Think of a slingshot. To launch forward, you must first pull it back. The deeper the pull, the further the shot. The same goes for your life. Retreat, when done strategically, is an accelerator in disguise. Strategic retreat versus emotional withdrawal. Let's be clear. Not all pulling back is created equal. There's a difference between strategic retreat and emotional withdrawal. Emotional withdrawal is reactive. It's fueled by burnout, fear, disappointment, or overwhelm. It leads to avoidance, numbing out, and shrinking from your own power. Strategic retreat, on the other hand, is proactive. It's deliberate. It's when you step back not because you're afraid, but because you're planning your next powerful move. It's the pause before the pivot. This is the mindset of elite performers, entrepreneurs, thinkers, and warriors. They don't rush decisions. They don't waste energy in unnecessary battles. They know when to step back, analyze the battlefield, recalibrate, and then strike with clarity. Why retreating can multiply your growth? Here are a few reasons pulling back can actually create exponential results. 1. Clarity. Recalibration. When you're in constant action, it's easy to lose the big picture. Strategic retreat gives you space to ask the critical question, am I climbing the right mountain? Without this space, you risk achieving success that doesn't fulfill you, which is the quietest form of failure. 2. Energy rebuilding. You're not a machine. Even the strongest minds need rest. Retreat allows your nervous system to reset, your emotions to settle, and your creative power to recharge. From this place, execution becomes effortless. 3. Tactical redirection. Sometimes your current path is outdated. Retreat lets you assess and shift direction without the pressure of performance. It's like climbing a tree to see the forest. You get a better view and smarter path forward. Historical power moves that came from retreat. Throughout history, some of the most impactful victories came from knowing when to pull back. The Battle of Austerlitz. Napoleon. He feigned weakness, lured the enemy in, and then launched a decisive counterattack. Steve Jobs returned to Apple. After stepping away, he came back with clearer vision and created the iPhone, a revolution born from retreat. Warren Buffett. Known for sitting on massive cash reserves, waiting for the right opportunity, his retreat from constant deals gives him leverage when markets panic. Strategic patience is a lost art, but it separates amateurs from masters. 3 signs. It's time for a strategic retreat. So how do you know when it's time to step back? Here are 3 powerful indicators. 1. You're busy but not effective. If you're doing a lot but producing little impact, you're likely stuck in motion, not movement. This is your sign to pause, zoom out, and recalibrate. Indians. 2. You're reacting, not creating. When everything feels urgent and your days are ruled by putting out fires, you've lost control of your strategy. It's time to retreat and redesign. 3. You're numb, not energized. If what used to excite you now feels like a chore, your internal compass is misaligned. You need space to rediscover what truly matters. How to retreat like a strategist. Retreat isn't just rest, it's deliberate recalibration. Here's how to do it well. Step 1. Declare the retreat. Block off time, even a few hours or a weekend, and protect it. No distractions, no guilt. You're not escaping life, you're designing it. Step 2. Reassess the mission. Ask yourself, what am I really aiming for? Are my daily actions in alignment with my deeper goals? Where have I drifted off course? Write it all down. Let it become clear. Step 3. Eliminate dead weight. In retreat, you gain courage to let go. Toxic relationships, outdated goals, habits that drain more than they deliver. Make the cuts. Power returns when you clear space. Step 4. Strategize the return. Now, plan your re-entry with clarity. What one move will have the highest impact when you return? What routine or system will you implement differently? What boundaries will protect your energy? The ego hates retreat. This part is important. Your ego will resist. It will whisper, "You're falling behind." It will scream, "You're weak to stop." Ignore it. The ego is addicted to appearances. The strategist is addicted to results. Your job is not to keep up appearances, it's to build a life that actually works. The calm power you gain in retreat will terrify people still addicted to chaos. That's proof you're on the right track. Case study, the comeback creator. Meet Darren, a rising entrepreneur who burned out trying to juggle 5 income streams. When he took a 30-day strategic retreat, no launches, no noise, just deep planning, he realized he was chasing growth out of fear of irrelevance. He cut 3 projects, doubled down on one, and came back with a clear message and better systems. Within 6 months, he doubled his revenue and had weekends off. He didn't grind harder. He paused, then aimed smarter. In a world of hustlers, be the strategist. Everyone else is sprinting in circles. They think louder is better, faster is smarter, busier is more important. Let them. While they exhaust themselves, you quietly retreat, study the map, and move with intention. They'll wonder how you got so far ahead. Let them wonder. You don't need to prove anything. Your results will speak when the time is right. Final thought. Step back to strike forward. There will come a time, maybe now, when the best move isn't forward, it's back. But not to stay there. To gather your focus, to protect your peace, to sharpen your sword. So that when you return, you move with clarity. You move with power. And most of all, you move on your terms. Chapter 9. Power Alliances. Aligning with people who multiply your strategy. How elite minds build winning circles. In the game of strategic living, who you move with is just as important as how you move. Winners don't just work harder, they collaborate smarter. They build alliances, not just friendships. Every high-performing strategist understands this. Your network can either amplify your mission or dilute it. Start by auditing your circle. Who around you sparks growth, sharpens your ideas, or holds you accountable? And who distracts, drains, or derails you? It's not about cutting people off in a cold way. It's about aligning with intention. Winners move with winners, not because of ego, but because of energy. Elite alliances are built on mutual purpose. It's not just about networking at events. It's about aligning with people who value progress, who play the long game, and who think in systems. When minds like these connect, ideas compound faster, problems dissolve quicker, and momentum becomes contagious. But here's the twist. To attract strategic people, you must first become one. Become someone who brings value to every conversation, who listens with depth, who delivers without drama. Become a mirror of the excellence you seek. Also recognize this truth. Not every alliance is forever. Some people help you grow to version 1.5 of yourself, but can't take the leap with you to 2.0. Be grateful, but don't stay stuck out of loyalty to outdated dynamics. Instead, seek those rare few who challenge your blind spots, who remind you of your vision, and who push you to move even when you feel tired. These are not just friends. They are your strategic inner circle. When you surround yourself with builders, thinkers, and believers, your path multiplies. And when your strategy is amplified by the right people, you no longer need to walk. You accelerate. Chapter 10. Legacy Moves. Think 10 years ahead while acting today. Designing your life like a strategist builds an empire. The average person thinks about their next weekend. The strategic mind, they think 10 years ahead and then take action today that aligns with that vision. This is the difference between living by default and living by design. Strategic thinkers operate with a future so vivid it pulls them forward. Every move they make now, every conversation, habit, collaboration, or sacrifice is a brick laid for a structure they may not see fully yet, but they believe in completely. Legacy is not an accident. It's architecture. The greatest moves you'll ever make will often look small in the moment. Waking up early, saying no to distractions, reading instead of scrolling, investing instead of splurging, choosing long-term alignment over short-term applause. These moves don't go viral, but they go deep. They build foundations others can't see until it's too late to catch up. Your legacy isn't what you post, it's what you practice. And every day is an opportunity to reinforce or erode it. Ask yourself, does my current behavior match the person I claim I want to become? If someone studied my calendar, my thoughts, my focus, would they guess my long-term vision? Most people are stuck reacting to the noise of the week. You are here to build something that echoes for decades. This isn't about fame. It's about impact. A well-lived, well-planned life touches generations. Maybe your name won't be known by millions, but your choices can still shift your family, your team, your future. That is legacy. So move with calm intensity, plan like a general, execute like a craftsman, and never let the urgency of now rob you of the empire you were meant to build. Legacy isn't loud, it's lasting. Conclusion. The final play, living as a silent strategist. In a world obsessed with noise where everyone wants to be seen, heard, and followed, the true strategist learns the art of quiet dominance. You've now journeyed through the laws of silent power, from mastering your inner control to executing moves that ripple across time. This isn't about playing small, it's about playing smart. The quiet operator knows that force fades, but influence endures. Every great empire, business, and personal transformation begins with one principle: clarity of mind. When you control your thoughts, your emotions, and your timing, you become unstoppable. The reactive lose themselves in battles that don't matter. The strategist picks wars worth winning. Your power lies not in how loud you move, but in how precise you act. Every retreat, every alliance, every silent decision becomes part of a long game that few can even see. You're not chasing victories, you're designing inevitabilities. From this point forward, Walk like someone who already knows the outcome. Speak less, observe more, and move with purpose. Every action you take, calm, deliberate, and strategic, becomes a declaration of quiet strength. Because the ultimate victory doesn't come from noise. It comes from mastery within and without. That's the mindset of the quiet operator. And now it's yours.